and welcome to this second video dealing with circuits in parallel. So we've already tried solving a circuit diagram where the circuit was in series, and now this one we are dealing with parallel circuits. So a circuit like this, it is a parallel circuit because it has more than one pathway. Okay, electrons can go this way or they could go like that. Okay, so this is a parallel circuit. And we have some information. The voltage of the battery is 12 volts, and there's 6 amps of total current. Okay? And again, when we're doing this, it's very helpful to have your notes in front of you because these rules here for parallel circuits are going to be very helpful for solving this. Okay? So I'll keep them up here. And here's the information we have. R1 is 3 ohms. That is it. The only thing we're told is that this resistor is a 3 ohm resistor. Okay? And so we have to figure out the rest of this information. Let's quickly take a look at our rules. Rule number 1 for voltage is that voltage drops across parallel resistors are equal. So the voltage dropped or lost across each resistor, these will be equal. Okay? The other thing that we know, the other rule, is that current in parallel pathways adds to the total current. So the current through here and here, they are going to add up to the total current. Okay. Well, where should we start knowing that? Well, one thing that's very helpful to keep in mind is to ask yourself, how many resistors will each electron go through? So here's an electron leaving the negative terminal of the battery, and it's going to go through this circuit and end up at the positive and lose all its potential energy. Okay? Now, how many resistors will that electron go through? Well, it might take that pathway, and it's just going to go through one. So it started with 12 volts. We can kind of think of voltage that way for this purpose. Starts with 12 volts and goes through resistor 2 and loses all 12 volts. Okay? Now it also could have gone through resistor 1 and it would have lost 12 volts there. So these are actually both going to be 12 volts. And you know what? That obeys our rule for voltage. Right? They are equal. Okay. Now current. How can we do that? Well, we can use Ohm's law, right? I is equal to V over R. And so we can, if I back up, we had 2 in this column. So we can always figure out the third by using Ohm's law. So I is equal to V over R. We have V1 here. We have R1. So we can put in those values. And so the current going through resistor 1, the current going through here, is 4 amps. Okay. What about the current going through resistor 2? Well, the rule is that the current through those parallel pathways has to add up to the total current. And what is the total current? It is 6 amps. So there's 6 amps total current, right? All of the current leaving the battery goes through this ammeter. Okay, and then it splits up, and some goes this way, some goes this way. Okay? And if we had an ammeter here measuring the current, that would also be 6 amps because it's measuring like all the currents going through there. Okay? So the current going through here, we can find that by taking the total current right here and subtracting this current. Okay, so I total minus the other one. And so that is 6 amps minus 4 amps, right? 6 amps minus 4 amps, and that gives us 2 amps going through here. Okay. Now we have a situation where we have to find the resistance of this second resistor. And the only way to find resistance every single time is with Ohm's law. Okay, R is equal to V over I. And so I always leave resistance for last because you need to figure out the voltage and the current first. Okay? Now, do we have voltage and current? We indeed do. V2 is 12 volts, I2 is 2 amps, and so 12 divided by 2 is 6 ohms. Okay, and so that has given us this resistance. And let's just double check our work. Does it make sense that the current going through resistor 1 is faster, right? This is 4 amps. 4 amps going through here. Through resistor 2, it's only 2 amps. Why is the current going faster here? Well, because the resistor is weaker. It's only 3 ohms, whereas this is 6 ohms. So I hope that makes sense. That is, in general, how we solve parallel circuits. So please try the practice ones on your own.